start also. Now things are clear here. Is it visible and audible? Ma'am?
Yes, sir. It's visible and audible, sir. But sometimes it is your voice is repeating, sir. So if I
Voice is
enable mic,
repeating.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible and audible, sir. But sometimes it is your voice is repeating, sir. So if I mic,
Repeating.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible and audible, sir. But sometimes it is your voice is repeating, sir.
For me also it is your voice is repeating actually, ma'am. Whatever you told, it is repeating again.
Okay, sir. Let me check with my colleagues and come back to you, sir, within a few minutes, sir. So give me 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, my son will call you now.
Okay, sir. Okay, then. Okay, sir. Let me check with my colleagues and come back to you, sir, within a few minutes, sir. So give me 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, my son will call you
Hello.
now.
Okay.
Maisha, I'm just checking. 1, 2, 3. I'm just checking. 1, 2, 3. question. Ma'am, mute now.
Hello, sir. Sir, நீங்க பேசுற கிளியரா கேக்குது சார். நோ ப்ராப்ளம் ஃப்ரம் யுவர் சைட். அண்ட் எங்க ஹெச்ஓடி பேசுறது கேட்கல. அண்ட் சம் ஆஃப் த பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ் ஆர் நாட் ஏபிள் டு ஹியர் யுவர் வாய்ஸ், சார். சம் ஆஃப் த பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ் கேன் ஏபிள் டு ஹியர். Some of the
Okay.
participants are not able to hear voice.
Ma'am, it will be audible now, I think, because we have been in mute for some time.
Okay, இப்போ clear-ஆ இருக்கு. It's not repeating. There is a no issue
Yeah.
of repeating.
Yes.
Now it's all clear now, ma'am.
Yes, sir. It's now clear, sir. Repeat ஆகல. So live is clear-ஆ இருக்கு. But some of the
Okay.
participants are not able to hear your voice.
Okay.
And I think my HOD is also speaking. I think you are not able to hear my HOD voice also, sir.
Yeah.
Are you able to hear her voice, ma'am?
Yeah, you're from your side. It's very clear, sir. No problem from your side.
Yeah. I'm asking if you are able to hear HOD's voice.
No, I'm not able to hear my HOD
Okay,
voice also.
probably it would be because of her mic connection. So
Okay, okay, sir. Okay,
she
sir.
can
I'll ask her
she
to.
can take
I'll
off.
ask her to.
Yeah, she can take off the earphones. Probably it might
Okay,
be earphones might cause this.
okay, okay, sir.
If it
I'll
doesn't
insist.
work, we may have to restart the computer.
Okay, okay, sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you. One second,
Yeah.
sir.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's clear.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes. Um, Sir, shall we move on, or shall we wait for some more time, sir?
As you please, ma'am. I am very comfortable. As you please.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Gayatri.
Yes,
Gayatri.
ma'am. We will start, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We will start.
Oh. Oh. Um, Good morning, everybody. I, Dr. P.S. Deepa, Head Department of Business Administration, take the privilege of welcoming you all for this webinar. அறிவற்றங் காக்கும் கருவி செருவார்க்கும் உள்ளழிக்க லாகா அரண். The great Tamil saint and poet says wisdom is a weapon to ward off all destruction. It is an inner fortress which enemies cannot destroy. At this occasion of expanding the boundaries of our knowledge, it is a great pleasure to welcome our resource person, Mr. Aravinda Krishnan, corporate trainer and NLP expert for this webinar. On behalf of our revered management, dean, principal, and the staff members of the department, and a warm welcome to all young minds with fire to learn and grow. Welcome you all.
Shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, all of you.
Just a minute. Gayatri.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Once again, ma'am. Pungurali will
Yes.
read the guest profile, ma'am.
Yes.
Pungurali, welcome,
We
Pungurali.
will introduce the
Yes,
guest
ma'am.
to the audience, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a minute. Yes, Pungurali, you can proceed.
Good morning, everyone. I am Pungurli from Department of Business Administration. Gratitude is not only the greatest of ritual, but the parent of all others. I take this opportunity to record our
Pungurali?
gratitude to. Yes, ma'am.
Pungurali.
Please read the guest profile.
Ma'am, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible now. Please read the guest profile, ma'am. Guest profile.
Okay, ma'am. Good morning and a warm welcome to everyone once again. I am Pungurli from the Department of Business Administration. It is my privilege to introduce our chief guest, Mr. V. Aravinda Krishna, qualified with BE, is presently practicing as a freelance corporate trainer since 2007, focusing on behavioral and NLP program. Previously, he had worked in Salem Productivity Council for 18 years till 2007, heading the activities for 17 years, propagating the concept of productivity. Some of his core strengths are NLP program, operator attitude building, supervisor and executive development, time management program, study program for studies, etc. He has been trained in basic and master practitioner course in neuro-linguistic programming by Dr. Richard P. McHugh. He has also attended workshop on training on housekeeping 5S organized by Asian Productivity Organization at Philippines. Overall, in the past 25 years, he has done over 870 training program and workshop in over 1025 plus days for over 125 organizations, mostly in industries. He has covered over 29,000 participants in over 30,000 men's day. Some of the major clients organized include NLC, Ashok Leyland, TNPL, Ramco Cement, Exit Industry, Burn Standard, Indian Cement, Hudson Agro, Ponni Sugar, and Penguin Engineer, etc. Thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity.
Yes, sir. Sir, you can continue, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Respected faculty members and students of Sri Krishnaswamy College of Women, Chennai. I again thank you and a warm welcome for this session on role of NLP in career success. Dear friends, I think I normally address as friends, so I'll be happy to address as friends. Is it? Dear friends, today this 1 hour we are going to see a completely new subject for most of you, and this subject is one of the very popular or one of the very powerful subjects possible for any person's career or personal development. Dear friends, already I've been introduced. This is a very briefly about me. Already, uh, the programs I have attended, specializations are there, and more than 30,000 participants, more than 1,050 days. Most of my programs have been for industries, corporates. So today we are going to see about NLP for career success. Before that, we'll have to be clear with the goal of any session. So what should be the goal? What should be the expectation out of this program from my side as well as your side? Dear students, life throws a lot of challenges. School days, college days, you may be very comfortable because syllabus is there, course material is there, the books are there, faculty members are there, teachers in school and faculty members in college, and the schedule is there, everything is organized. Somebody else gathers the information. But whereas in real life, we'll have to really search for information, adequate information. And this subject of NLP can make a huge impact in the person's life. So the goal of this session I'll consider as becoming aware of the reach of NLP, the concepts of NLP and the reach of NLP. Because I used to do this program particularly for executives level. Even very experienced executives, 20 years, 30 years experienced executives. And I have, in every program, several people used to tell, sir, had I got this feedback 10 years, 20 years back, my life would have been different. My achievements would have been much more. The problems I would have faced would have been drastically less. The pain I had carried would have been much, much less. This is a feedback I get almost from every program with several participants. 40, 50 years old, assistant general manager, head of the departments, at that level also. So, understanding the concepts, understanding the reach, what it can do at this young age, it will be really helpful. Because once you face any problem, concern, which can be tackled easily, which seem to be untackleable or which seem to be impossible to be tackled, once we know that there is a subject which can help us solve the issues, which can help us break through the shackles, we can always go and reach. The time spent will be so less. Whereas we do not know, we keep on searching. In fact, my own life, I have been searching for something for nearly 14, 15 years. Then only I got at the age of 36. That search will be reduced. So, either we want to increase our capability or reduce the pains or difficulties. This subject offers a lot of things. So once you are aware, when needed, as and when you need, you can approach some specialist who specializes in this subject. So my objective is to make you aware. And also any session I do, I'll be happy if people go back with one or two small takeaways. So I'll be through the session or one or two such takeaways I'll be giving. You can start using them from today onwards. So this will be the objective or this will be the goal of this session. Dear friends, career success is something we always wish to have. We make a lot of efforts. We envy the great achievers, whether it may be Ambani or it may be any topmost persons, industrialist persons, or in the field of education, or in the field of business, or even politics. We look at admiration at people who have achieved great success. But let us one side look at not only the great achievers, Narayana Murthy, Infosys, throughout India, throughout the world, he is known. Not only that, my feeling is every person can have a very, very successful career. career. It is possible. But then you have to define what is meant by success. Once the participant asked me, sir, you are giving big examples, people who have achieved tremendously. So normal people do not have success. That was the question he asked. So let us first get an idea of what can be uh, considered as success. Okay. Dear friends, uh, the success in career could be first getting a job. A job, or you are going into a line of either you get a job, or you may even start with something on your own. So getting a job first or getting into a profession could be the first step. Whether you are satisfied with what you're getting, whether you are doing well, that become then it comes. And getting the knowledge required for it, the knowledge, competence, the knowledge, domain knowledge is also required. Whatever field you require so much knowledge. For example, a person, an engineer, young engineer getting into a factory, or a finance person getting into a business organization, there will be so many rules, so many regulations, so many practices. As an engineer, they may be facing a lot of machineries, a lot of procedures, so many technical things. As a finance person, a lot of things. Even a HR person, so many practices, so many laws. So they have to gather the domain language, domain knowledge. And the people skill is also very, very needed. Why an organization employs anybody will be not to just give job. Any organization is there for giving some products or giving some services. So in the competitive environment also, so they have to give a very satisfactory service, or they have to give a satisfactory product. Only then they can survive in the market. So many millions and crores of people start everywhere to do something, but only some people are able to grow the organization to at least a small scale or medium scale level. So if suppose somebody is employing you, they'll want you to fit into the organization. It is not a charity work. So adjust to the conditions and perform effectively. So people skill is also needed. Domain knowledge is also needed. So we have to be clear with the basics of our subjects, then start learning in the job. Then competency. See, the respect we can gain once we become really competent in what we do will be tremendous. The satisfaction and joy we achieve will be tremendous. My job, I know well. I can do very well. That is the competency which we require to develop in any job. Then comes finances. See, ultimately, we work for sustaining ourselves, our family. So, whether it is salary or the profits we earn in our business, the money also is important. Then the recognition comes. We wish to be recognized for our contribution to the society. Suppose in a job, there should be opportunities for us to grow. Promotable. We should get opportunities, or we should create opportunities so we increase our capabilities. So difference. This this the goal. This could be the goal for every person, or they wish that. And at the young age, you may even feel that it is all normal routine. What is that specifically? So next question will be: are things so easy? Getting all those things, is it really easy? I wouldn't consider. Not so easy, like things may not be so easy. Again, getting a job itself could be very challenging. So many people go for interview, only some people are selected. And once you get into a job, uh, see, you may not, every organization would have evolved so many systems, procedures, internal systems, unwritten rules. And so many things have to be also learned, written rules, written procedures, and unwritten also. So in the domain knowledge, you have to pick up, and people skill you have to start picking up. People skill is really needed. I'll give an example from an industry. Suppose an young engineer joins an industry as a trainee engineer, something. He would have studied the basics of engineering. But those particular machines, the particular system procedures, particular way to maintain, particular way to operate, what is the past history, he has to get those things from the operators who work from there, the workmen who work there. And he has to also get work from them. So he has to control them as well as get the information from them. So that is very not so easy. He cannot compromise on anything to please them. At the same time, he has to also get work done. So that's why the tact and the emotional capability, the communication capability becomes very important there. When the boss may support him or give adequate information, people will come with workmen, maybe 10, 20 years experience, unionized. They'll come up with all sorts of reasons not to be fully supportive. So there, the emotional strength, the tact, the communication capability becomes important. So likewise, and the joy and satisfaction difference. One of the greatest joys or one of the greatest satisfaction a human being can experience could be we plan something, we do something, we get a satisfaction. That is immeasurable. That cannot be substituted. Daily we will be able to get that joy and satisfaction. It is true. At the same time, lot of pain is also there. See, nowadays people in 30s, 40s, 50s have so many health issues. People tell stress from the job, from the profession, from the colleagues, from the boss. So the joy and satisfaction also not so easy. You can get at the same time a lot of pains and the money. And there I am not going to talk much about it. Ultimately, from our achievements, we should. There are two ways of looking at things. You contribute as much as possible, you automatically get rewarded. Maybe slight lag is there, or you feel you deserve something, you demand. But I think the first thing will be much better. Very professional people, very successful people, they have contributed, shown their worth, and then automatically the income follows. And dear friends, the recognition also plays a big role. That gives a lot of satisfaction, a lot of joy. Yes, being recognized by your colleagues, being recognized by subordinates, being recognized by our boss, customers, that gives a lot of satisfaction. It improves our self-worth. And next thing is the growth. There may be some career opportunities where the growth may not be there much at all. So we'll have to create opportunities. We have to learn so that we become promotable. Suppose 5 or 10 people join together, only one person can be promoted after maybe 2 years, 3 years. How much you are contributing, how much you develop yourself to the next position. Only then that will play a key role in your boss selecting somebody for promotion. So everything is not so easy. It requires a lot of efforts. That's why, dear friends, there is so much literature available for self-development, career development, or management development. So much literature available and so many training programs there. I'm also a professional trainer. So more than 26 years, I've been handling programs. So many different type of programs, right from time management to attitude building, communication effectiveness, interpersonal relations, team building, leadership, whatnot. So many different type of training programs. So suppose if it is going to be so easy, once getting a job, we get from everything by experience. Why should we have so much training programs? See, I'll give a small example. Suppose some of you may be starting your own business or even an industry, become an entrepreneur even after you immediately after finishing your studies also. Different. Suppose everything you have to learn from experience. How do you learn the financial management aspects only by experience? Whom to give give your product or services on credit, and what is the documentation required if you want to give credit? How much to give? Suppose they are not giving, what to do? All those things, unless you are becoming aware, you may end up with huge losses, and lost years will be lost to make up for it. So you require training, and some India has so many laws, so many rules and regulations from so many departments, government. Suppose one point we do not know, we just miss it out. 2 3 years later on, people come and ask, government officials ask, you are not paid something for 3 years. So this is the amount you have to pay. This is the penalty you have to pay. The 1 or 2 years of work itself will be over. Your profit for 2 years may be wiped out because you didn't know one single point, single aspect in it. So the knowledge part is very important. So that's why so much self-development books, not only about from the domain. These I gave us examples. So personal side, people side, our attitude, belief, all those areas also require a lot of inputs. Dear friends, here the role of NLP becomes very important. We call those various training programs non-domain programs, not the technical programs, other programs, the people skill program, leadership, and other programs. This NLP plays a huge role. Dear friends, NLP, that is neuro linguistic program, it's like similar in some ways to any other behavioral program, but very different from other programs. Normally, the programs are called general programs are called soft skill programs. I used to term them as behavioral programs. The personality development or communication team building such programs. Most of the programs they give us insights into what is really happening. When people talk, we are able to deeply understand what is happening inside. We get insights. We get a conceptual framework to apply. So the conscious level, we understand, oh, leadership, this is we have to do, this we are not supposed to do. To build a team, we have to do this, we are not supposed to do this. Like that, you get conceptual framework out of any program. But dear friends, NLP alone is a very, very, very different program. Because if most of the programs, we consciously understand what is happening through some game or activity, how people behave. Oh, this is the problem with leadership. This is the problem with communication. This is the problem with team building. Then you get a conceptual framework and you start practicing it, applying it. So you gradually develop. But NLP is a very different subject. Almost like a surgery, it goes very deep. Or single shot also, so many changes can be brought about. And it goes to the depth. It is not possible much in other areas, other concepts. Because NLP taps the power of unconscious. So a lot of things happen within us, inside us. Unconsciously things happen. Consciously only certain things we are able to control. For example, 5 to 9 things we can focus at a given time, consciously. But thousands of things unconsciously our body is monitoring. Right from here, if you want to walk, what muscles to contract, what muscles to relax, how much to increase the heartbeat, how much the breathing has to be increased, what muscles to contract, relax. All those things, unconscious only takes care. So NLP, what it does is it taps into our unconscious. We consciously become aware what all things happen on unconscious level, and we start using them consciously. And so what happens is it can make dramatic changes in human life. Otherwise, it may require years of efforts, months and years of efforts to bring about a change. We will be aware that this is a change we have to bring within ourselves. Suppose we feel shy to talk in a dais, we may feel very shy. To reduce the shyness, we'll do so much efforts, we'll make a lot of efforts. But in NLP, maybe a single exercise, do a few times, the shyness greatly reduces. Likewise, it can be very dramatic, single shot. You can even get so many issues sorted out, or you can get into great achievements. This is the beauty of NLP. And normally, when I handle for executives, senior executives in 40s, 50s, 60s, not 60s, 40s or 50s, they are the people who are the most receptive for the programs. Not that youngsters don't see well. For students also, I do. For graduate engineers, graduate officers level also, I do tremendously receive. But the executives, why it is so special for them is 20, 30 years of experience, industry or business experience. By and large, they become aware of the various management concepts. What is meant by communication? What are the problems there? How is the leadership? What are his qualities? What are other qualities? What is possible in their organization? So many things they become aware by their experience, by their observation, by attending programs, by reading. But major area untapped will be thoughts and emotions, what happens unconsciously. When we give exercises so that they can, techniques and exercises, they can straight away use them tremendously, they are benefited. So that is the beauty of NLP. It can go very deep, it can be very powerful. So that is a subject which we will be seeing now for next maybe 40 minutes. Yeah, friends. This subject originated nearly around 1975. And the two persons who evolved this subject or named this subject as NLP or this methodology The photo is given there. Richard Bandler and John Grinder. The person with the complete bald head is Richard Bandler. The other person with the both are smiling with a lot of bit more hair is John Grinder. These people around 1975 they started the subject. They coined a name for this subject. They introduced it. Dear friends, it's a very special subject. Now, last 10, 15 years, by and large, almost everybody in any medium level or a large level organization, anybody in HR would have known about NLP. Now, common public also are becoming much aware of the subject. What is so special about this subject? Why I am talking so much about the origin of this subject? Dear friends, these people, what they did was, they found that there are n number of studies, thousands and thousands of studies made on people having problems, behavioral problems, psychological problems, relationship problems, thousands and thousands of studies, psychiatric problems, but not much studies made on human excellence. Why somebody who was putting petrol in a petrol bunk supposed to be the richest man in India, Ambani, how a person without any background, self-made person become Prime Minister of India, how somebody becomes a big industrialist or a big great psychologist. Likewise, how a person becomes a tremendous sports person. Likewise, high achievers, not many studies made on them. So these people analyze the human excellence. They recorded and analyzed some great people. Some of the people they analyzed were Milton Erickson, Fitzgerald, Virginia Satir. These are American people. So Milton Erickson was a great hypnotherapist in US. Patients going to so many psychologists or psychiatrists are not able to resolve their problems. They come to this man, they start to get resolved. He was so differently also he was talking. He was focusing a lot on unconscious. He had his own problems right from birth. So tackling them, he had developed such a capability. Actually, what happened was the American Psychologists Association, they wanted to even throw him away from the association because he was talking differently. Then they studied him, they sent a committee to study him. They found he was phenomenally successful with the patients. They ended up making him the president of the association. And Fitzgerald started a practical gestalt therapy. And Virginia Satir was a great family counselor. See, US, family counseling is very important. People get married, half the people may end up with divorce. And this people go to counselors for resolving the differences, not working. They come to her, Virginia Satir. Most of the people, the difference get resolved. They start to liking each other and living together. Again, back the husband-wife couple. So such eminently successful people, they are not theoreticians, practical successful. Such people, they were studied, analyzed. They found they are following some patterns of behavior. So these people tried the same behavior with themselves, the same patterns of behavior. Pattern, I'm using the word pattern. See, the shirt we wear, the pants we wear, or the tops we wear, or the dress we wear, they all have some patterns, some flowers, some design, something. Likewise, some patterns of behavior people are following. The same patterns these people tried, they achieved a tremendous success. Then they felt, yes, we have found out really something, a great subject. Then they termed it as neuro-linguistic programming. Here, the neuro means, or it is what it means. What it was meant by these two people is ultimately everything is neurochemical reaction within us. It produces sensory feelings, reactions within us, and it produces a behavioral change. That is what they meant by the word neuro. So, practically speaking, neurochemical reaction within us producing a sensory sensation, then a resulting behavior. For example, you go into a park, nice trees, nice plants, flowers, and other things, So you see them, light passes, falls on the plants, or comes to our eyes, goes to the retina, makes a small inverted image. Some neurochemical reaction takes place in the retina. It is transferred to some part of the brain. It produces a sensory reaction, a pleasant feeling. A feeling comes, and the feeling produces a behavioral change. We become relaxed, mind becomes relaxed, body itself becomes relaxed, our breathing becomes relaxed, muscles become relaxed, a joyful feeling comes, a pleasant feeling comes. Suppose you see suddenly a snake running, completely some other reactions happen in the neurochemical level, and the brain sensation completely changes. Immediately a jolt, lot of energy released, you become ready to run or fight. So this is what they meant by neuro. And linguistic is, mankind has developed language so much, we need not see something. Suppose somebody shouts snake, you immediately get the same reaction as we have seen. The words carry the power to produce a similar changes. Then programming in computer, what you do in lab computer, you cut, you delete, you edit, you attach something, paste. Likewise, internally we program, reprogram inside ourselves so that we become more capable, we become much more resourceful. So this is what they meant by the title neuro-linguistic program. It was a name given by them, like Ram or Lakshman or Raja or Robert, whatever name it is being given, it was a name kept because of these reasons. Dear friends, now we'll look into NLP for life. See, it has a great impact, right? From the school students, even people at the age of 60, 70, 80, it is very relevant. At each stage, it is relevant. But we will broadly divide into, I am planning this session broadly dividing into three areas. One is you're all college students. At the college level, what concepts could be really helpful? See, every concept will be useful for every person at whatever level they are. But again, where is the time? Where is the resources available to go and learn? I learned the NLP for about basic and practitioners, nearly 1 month of program, and another 3 weeks of programs on various other courses. At the student level, will you be able to spend so much time, so much money for it? No. At each stage, something becomes very valuable. So at the college level, then at the profession level, and at the personal level. So I am dividing into three. Dear friends, the biggest challenge in the college will be marks. School days, generally I have seen, school days we all get comparatively good marks. But college, once we come to college, I sincerely hope all of you do very well academically and all of you get great marks. I have such a hope also. But in reality, what happens is, I have seen in engineering colleges, people, where the cutoff itself is above 190. People get arrears in semesters. So there is some difficulty with the studies. So getting some people you see they are getting very good marks. Some people struggle a lot in the studies. And dear friends, some people maybe at school level till certain age they have studied well. Even school level nearly completion they would have studied well. Then college they struggle. And some people may be ordinary in the school level, but college they seem to do very well. What is the secret behind it? Suppose we can give an input where we can make a dramatic improvement in them. Great achievers, it's only awareness. People who have struggles, if you get this input, it can make a tremendous change. And again, are only the marks so relevant? What is the aim and objective of studies? That becomes the second question. I will consider the knowledge gathering is the most important aspect in studies. The knowledge you gather, whatever the subjects you study, the fundamentals, the basic concepts, you are able to have a very clear framework within yourself. That is the basic thing you have to gain out of the college education, either school or college, whatever education. Marks are only an expression that you have got a good knowledge. But unfortunately, what happens is a lot of times people focus on marks and lose out on the subject. I recommended somebody, one MCOM student who had completed, and I think 1 or 2, 3 years he was not in any job. I asked our auditor long back that the income student is available. Can you take him as one of your staff? Auditors generally have several young people as a staff. They check all the accounts and they do certain work there. And the auditor also checked with this man and he had not selected and gave a feedback. Arvind, the basic subjects, he is not having any knowledge at all. He has completed his MCOM also. So what is the point? Getting even marks, ultimately the subject knowledge is important, because once you go into the field, it is the knowledge going to count, and also the inside in the field, whatever knowledge you keep on gaining, increasing it, adding to your framework already you have, that is really going to count rather than anything else. And the second biggest challenge would be the interviews. To get a good job, lot of scarcity. First year, maybe we are very confident, I can do very well in the interviews. Second year, some apprehension. Final year, oh God, whether I will get selected, what they will ask, what is the answer for what question? Such questions, such thoughts may come. Dear friends, here NLP offers really great things for the studies. I'll consider knowledge and marks. Primary knowledge, it is reflected through marks. There is a subject by name structure of thoughts. NLP is a huge body of tools and techniques and concepts. Lot of techniques, lot of concepts are there. Personally, I'll consider this as my most favorite concept or most favorite methodology or learning in NLP. My personal view. Each one may have a different view, because this was what I was also searching for several years. See, the structure of thoughts can make a real dramatic improvement in a person's capability to study. What I tell, it may look like magic to you. See, I'll give an example. Actually, it takes about 4 hours for me to teach in a classroom situation. Whether it is executives, managers, engineers in an organization, or it is the college students, it takes about more than at least 4 hours to teach this particular concept. See, experientially, you have to become aware. I can even tell the concept in 2 minutes, 5 minutes, but experientially, unless we are aware, it's like any other information. So, this subject, structure of thoughts, it goes deep. I'll give an example. What happened? Sometime back, maybe a few years back, I had somebody who's from my native place, like my friend's friend, actually, my neighbor's friend. He had joined engineering in a reputed college in Chennai. First year, automobile. First year, so many arrears. He became really upset. He felt disheartened. He felt he will not be able to complete his studies. So many areas, failed in so many subjects. So he came back to his father, told, Father, I cannot continue my engineering. I'll become a lawyer like you. See, law is also not easy. His father himself was a lawyer. I told Arvind, dear son, this lawyer profession is not as easy as what you think. Because in our town, only 10% of the lawyers may be earning adequately. There are so many number of lawyers, but only a small percentage, maybe 10%, 15% are able to reasonably earn. It's also very challenging. And somehow through my neighbor, they came to me. At the time, it was already second semester. I worked on him. I found that he was something not okay with him. I wouldn't tell not okay. This subject was taught. There was some deviation from what has to be. He was using some processes which was not appropriate for studies. So I made him become aware of the structure of thoughts and the particular processes which he had to use for studies. And I also told him one thing. Second semester, why do you want to discontinue? Use this methodology and try to complete your arrears and second semester subjects. If you want to change the course, you want to change into some other degree, a BA, BSc, or BCom, whatever you want, that is your wish. But anyway, this few months, why do you want to sit at home? Use this to practice this methodology. Dear friends, after 6 months, his father phoned me. He told, sir, after you taught him the methodology, now he is able to study very well. He has cleared all his subjects. He told he'll continue in automobile engineering. See, all very dramatic change. Almost like, unbelievable change. I can give so many examples. I worked, this is the subject which I work most with the college students, school students. Individually also I work. My most favorite subject I'll tell. This can be really helpful at your level. Actually, I'll give a small clue about how this is happening. See, thinking or studying, we tell everything you lump together in a single word. Suppose somebody doesn't study well, you tell become involved, study hard, right, and keep right and study, and some method. You look at the question answers, repeatedly study. So many things we can. And the thinking also, everything is lumped as a single role. But difference. Actually, what happens is internally 6 different processes happen within us. They all go, one process or other. Unconsciously, we reach one process or other. From one process to we jump to other process. Our thought process, it uses one processor and other and keep on using as per the requirement. Each process has a specific function. It's like a motorcycle riding, geared motorcycle riding. A motorcycle which may have 4 gears. First gear functionality is different. Second gear functionality is different. Third gear functionality is different. Top gear or fourth gear functionality is different. First gear, lot of pulling power, but a very, very, very low speed. Because from starting, it has to move its own weight and the 2 persons sitting on it. Lot of pulling power, but the speed is very low. Second gear, bit lesser pulling power, but still lot of pulling power, but speed has also picked up. When it comes to top gear, the pulling power is so less, but the speed is very high. Likewise, but what happens a person who uses inappropriate gears, like third or fourth gear, a person wants to start, or try to go in a long ride in first or second gear. It will be very tedious for the person, it will be very tedious for the machine. Likewise, internally, everybody uses 6 processes, but uses unconsciously. That is a key factor. Not consciously. Unconsciously, we keep on jumping from one process to other. What happens is, as young children, they use the process appropriately. Somewhere or other, they start to favor some particular process while they become older and older, even in school or colleges. Then that particular process, if it becomes a favored process, it becomes a process by which we process most of the information. Then we get the pluses of that using the process, and the minuses also of using it too much, and minuses of not using the other process. This is what happens. So in the classroom situation, when I handle the session, when I handle this program, nearly 4 hours I make them aware of the 6 processes, and then check and verify which process they are able to understand deeply, which process they are able to bring from memory very well, which process that really do not help either understanding deeply or memory. They become thorough of the day, go out of the session. From that day onwards, that day onwards, the dramatic change happens. Of course, there is also something, like a person completely getting arrears after learning it cannot immediately get 80, 90. Because the past subjects, the base will be very poor in the mind. He has to study them, strengthen the base knowledge, then learn this also. But probably within a few months, few years, the capability to study really can tremendously improve. This is very relevant for executives also. I'll come to that later. So this is and I'll give you a clue. It is to do with the visualization part. What happens is while mugging up or repeatedly question our own, I wouldn't fault, but it is, lot of times it is as per book we have to write. But I'll consider understanding things and writing on our own is 1,000 times better. So something to do the visual part. We lose sight of the visual pictures in the mind and focus on the auditory areas or the feeling areas. That gives the problems. So this is a powerful input for the students level community. In fact, 1.5 years back, I had covered the entire 8 branches of an engineering college in 8 programs. And just for information, how this is going on, I'm just telling. And the difference, in the college, once you're about to complete or completed, you go for interviews. And a lot of times there is apprehension, there is some fear, nervousness while attending interviews, and also colleges prepare to some extent, good extent. They ask speakers to come and speak. You are given exercises, group discussions, and activities to strengthen your capabilities. Friends, we have to understand what for their any organization is apart from testing your subject knowledge. Why do they conduct an interview? Why do they assess you personally? Dear friends, ultimately what they assess you is basically for your communication skill, clarity of thinking, how well you are able to clearly think, the self-confidence, how confident you are, and uh, how much tact you have, the judgment you are able to bring about, what is your emotional strength. All these things they try to understand, assess within a few minutes. It may not be 100% correct. That's why luck also may play a role. But how strong you are emotionally, how well, how tactfully, how well you have used your opportunities in your colleges to develop yourself, that plays a big role also. Why they want is they want people who are able to fit into the organization. That's why not call for the pause for every small issues, able to tackle issues, able to tackle these things, various issue problems in the organization and perform. That's why they want such people. That's why they try to screen select such people. I'll give a very funny example. Somebody told me in the interview. I'll just a funny example. You don't take this as a standard question that may be asked in any interview. Most probably, none of you may be asked this question. See, somebody was asked, what are your hobbies, something, what do you do, exercise and other things. And one of the students had told, I do yoga asanas. That's I do regularly. Then the interviewer had asked, do you do Sarasasana also? Sarasasana is standing on the head, upside down. He told, yes, sir, I also do that regularly. Then the interviewer had asked, can you do it now, here, and show us? Very, very, very delicate and very embarrassing question. Can you do for us here? See, this was the information I got. See, my observation is he could have done it and shown, he could have refused also. He could have done and got selected, he could have refused and got selected. He could have done and got rejected, he could have refused and got rejected. The question is how he had reacted to that situation. And he been very comfortable, sir, no issues, sir, I'll just do it. And he very confidently, comfortably able to do the headstand. Then he would have been selected. Because even in tough situations, he doesn't lose the cool, he's not becoming nervous and becoming panicky, he's able to. Suppose he had refused. No, sir, I just had my lunch, sir. It is not to be done now, or it has to be done in a sequence, sir. It is not to be done individually. If he had he been able to comfortably tell no, again, he would have been accepted. Had he become very nervous, very panicky, and feeling very delicate, and then nervous, and then done the headstand, he might have been rejected because of the nervousness. So any challenge, this guy may break. You cannot rely on him. That will be the impression they would have. Had he rejected, in a very pleading manner, the voice breaking down, becoming very nervous, and then he would have been also rejected. So it is only question of how they try to assess how confident you are, how comfortably you are able to deal with the challenging situation, because that is what they require from the day one in the organization. I'm not threatening you or making you fear, because the big question is that in the organization, your boss seniors will teach you, coach you, they will guide you a lot so that you are getting into the groove, you are learning adequate skills, people skills, and other skills. So the support will be there, definitely there. But they look at people who are a bit more advanced in that. So here NLP, two particular exercises I normally teach at students level. One is on communication, non-verbal communication, which we call as left brain activities. There you become aware once you go into the interview room. Not only the answer you give, your tonality, your facial expression, body language, everything play a role in projecting the image. And another exercise by name, Quick New Behavior Generator. Quick New Behavior Generator, another exercise, which you can do in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and improve your emotional state within a short time. Become more confident, become very calm, relax, something like that. This I give for executives also. For students also I give. For executives, for communication I give. For students level, for communication, but particularly more relevant for interviews. Day-to-day life also they use. Apart from that, in the regular management subject, I'll consider two other things. The basics of communication and assertiveness training, assertiveness concept will also help students very well. They are not directly coming into NLP, but in the general management concepts. So it is good that you learn that, you understand that, and you also make adequate changes within yourself so that you improve yourself in that areas. So, dear friends, this is at the student level. Now, once you go into the profession, challenges in profession. See, in a profession, once you go, it's not like, lot of times, this is a thing which happens. As long as school life, people tell, you study well in school. Once you get into a good college, then life is settled. You come to the college, you find the syllabus is much increased, the pressure is more. Then college, a thinking comes once you finish the college courses, once you get into a profession, we can relax. Difference. There also you'll have to really keep on learning. So your domain knowledge, you have to really increase. Your subject knowledge increase. Your capability to perform also has to increase. Domain knowledge is subject knowledge you have to learn. Suppose you are a HR person or a finance person, you go to an auditor, work for some time, you really understand how the laws are applied, how they are accounted, how the laws are interpreted. HR person, you go to an organization, you understand how you start to learn, discover how the various acts are being applied, how what processes are being followed, how people are built. You really learn from there. So not only the knowledge you have to develop there, your capability also you have to develop. What I mean by a capability is deeply think, analyze the issues, and also deeply analyze, do things, plan well. That deep thinking capability is very important. And next will be the people skills. You see, you get into really challenging situations with people. As I told before, from the workman, you may have to gain the knowledge. At the same time, you have to discipline them. It really calls for tremendous people skills. And colleagues, your boss, you can at least demand some, respectfully demand some facilities. But your colleagues, the same level, only because of a good relationship, they'll be also supporting you. So the people skill also becomes very important. And then problem solving approach. See, if there are no problems, why people have to hire us? They can hire even an uneducated person or a barely literate person. So only because of problems are there, we are also there. Opportunity is there. And finally, the emotional strength. How matured, how well we are able to face the issues and tackle them. These are the four major challenges which I could tell. We can add more, but primarily I limit myself to four challenges. Let us see how NLP also helps here. We'll first go into the structure of thoughts, the understanding. Already I have discussed a lot on it. So really gain the domain knowledge. Remember, it is very helpful. And at the same time, the planning process is also very important. Which work to be done when, which work will interact with which work, how well. All those deep analysis planning capability is very important. So for executives level, the same structure of thoughts which I told is relevant for students also is very important here. Since I have talked a lot about it, I'm just going to the next. Then challenges in the profession. At the people skill, there are several aspects, several concepts which can be really helpful to people in a career in a profession. The non-verbal communication also helps us. I told about assertiveness, aggressiveness, and submissiveness. Now, you would have heard about these concepts, Four type of behaviors: being aggressive, being assertive, being submissive, and being manipulative. They come under management concepts. NLP doesn't deal much into that, but it gives tools to deal with it. Conceptual framework, it doesn't bother NLP. It's all practical down to the earth. You can link the management concepts on the NLP concepts. See, what is the quality required is to be assertive. You stand for your rights, but without too much aggression. See, assertiveness plus anger or aggression is plus anger or plus emotions is aggressive behavior. Suppose somebody tells no or somebody doesn't do properly, we become immediately angry. It means it is an aggressive type of behavior. But we are able to comfortably tell no, it is a very assertive behavior. We are able to point out the mistake, not feel very delicate, not feeling apologetic, then it is assertiveness. Feeling very apologetic for what we are doing, it is submissive. That is also not advisable in an organization. Neither in family. Aggressiveness is also not advised. Submissiveness is also not advised. People do not want to such, it will create more and more problems. What is required is assertiveness. Manipulation, of course, I will not consider as a very healthy behavior in a professional environment. People have to trust you. Only then things work on trust. I wouldn't say that they are not completely needed. A bit of manipulation is needed, a bit of aggressiveness is needed, a bit of submissiveness is needed. There are some situations where each one is also needed. Suppose you are facing a rowdy, bit of manipulative behavior to get out of the problem is needed. Aggressiveness, suppose a child going into some dangerous area, you have to really shout and be aggressive to make it stop. Submissiveness, also not needed. Organizations will not like the officers to be submissive to the customers or submissive to the things. And how to develop assertive behavior? This non-verbal gives the key for developing the assertive behavior. You moderate your voice, you moderate your facial expression, body movements, and become assertive. So you can reduce the aggressiveness and become assertive by just focusing on the non-verbal. And the non-verbal gives a lot of information on people while they communicate. Have you understood something? When the people are not very clear, they tell, it will slightly shake side left and right, and the voice will be low. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. But you can understand, observing them keenly, the person has really not fully understood. So non-verbal plays a big role, NLP concept. Then there are some communication concepts which really help to deal with various situations. There is something called rapport building. That is NLP, which is very special. These are all exercises or concepts which we can learn, capabilities which we can use and learn some capabilities. Rapport building becomes very important. See, what is meant by rapport building? R-A-P-P-O-R-T. Rapport building means like we have say 40, 50 classmates with us. With only some people we are very comfortable. We know they'll respect us. They'll respect our thinking. They may not accept what we tell, but they'll respect us. We feel quite close to some people. That we call, there is a rapport with them. So that type of rapport, how to develop in an organization with the people. So there are some specific methodologies to, and the voice breathing relationship. There is a relationship between our breathing, our voice, etc. Thinking. And the meta model is a concept. It is actually a questioning method. Some 10, 15 methods of questioning to get the reality out of when we talk to people, get the reality of what is happening. That is a concept called meta model. Then outcome frame approach, it is for problem solving. So a lot of tensions will be reduced. And meta programs, it is how we are programmed internally. We really understand. Unconsciously, we are programmed. Like a computer, it has software. Likewise, internally, we are programmed some ways. There we understand how we are programmed. We start making use of it. I'll give again a takeaway. One of the takeaway I gave was non-verbal communication. Another takeaway is the meta programs. Some people, one of the meta programs is a person, whether he's a detailed person or big picture person. Some 12, 13, 14 programs are there, but I'm dealing on one thing. Whether internally programmed. Some people you will find they'll always talk in a very, very lengthy manner. Some people you will find they talk in the briefest manner, simplest manner. 2 words, 3 words, they'll finish. The person who talks everything into detail is a detailed person. Person who finishes everything within 1 or 2 words, 2, 3 words is a big picture person. I'll give an example. Suppose somebody is asked, suppose a HR department has to go to labor department, meet the labor officer or labor commissioner, somebody. Some details have to be given on Friday evening. The company is unable to give. So the manager asks one of his subordinates, a junior level of officer or a staff, to go meet the labor office itself, labor commissioner himself, and tell, sir, Monday we will give the report. So because of emergency, we couldn't really process it. This is the task given to him. Suppose that person who goes and talks, he's a detailed person. What happens? After going and informing the commissioner, he reports back to the manager. Manager asks, what happened? This man tells, sir, Friday 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock itself I left, sir. 4:30 I was in the labor commissioner's office. He had gone out, sir. He came after only 1 hour, sir. Half an hour he was busy with some other things. 6 o'clock he called me and he asked whether I have got the report. I told no, sir. Because of this emergency, we are unable to make the report ready, sir. Definitely we'll give on Monday evening, sir. He told, no, I had to send the consolidated report to Chennai Monday evening. So you should have given already, okay, I understand the situation. You give Monday before noon, before lunch break. Only then we'll have time to consolidate all the information and send to Chennai head office. I told, yes, sir. This is a person who detailed person will talk. Suppose a big picture person, and the person who gone been a big picture person, he goes there, he informs and he reports back to the manager. Manager asks what happened. He told the big picture person will tell, sir, I met the labor commissioner, sir. He asked to give definitely before Monday noon, sir, before lunch break. That's all. A big picture person will finish within a sentence. A detailed person will speak for one page. So internally, some people are big picture people. Internally, some people are detailed people. Only some people are comfortable in both. It happens unconsciously. If you are a big picture person talking everything in a very brief manner, in certain occasions you have to forcefully talk in detailed manner, consciously do it. And somebody is talks very briefly, very detailed manner. When the occasion warrants, it is needed, talk in a very, very brief manner also. Get the practice of that also. So these are all some of the exercises, some of the concepts which can help in or developing the people skills in the career. Next will be the other major challenge is the problem solving. See, ultimately, any organization, any executive, any officer, continuously you'll get problems. If there are no problems, there is no need for us to be there. Problems are the opportunities for us to be in an organization itself. And NLP, there are so many problem solving techniques like QC7 tools, YY analysis, root cause analysis. NLP also gives a very powerful practical approach. Focus on the result, what you want, and approach it. I'll give an example. I used to do a lot of programs in Excite batteries. There, uh, once a batch of pens that were purchased, there is a problem with the particular batch of pens. Somewhere the pens were leaking, the reverse side, and that was only quickly available and it was purchased locally, and some issues. And Unilever came to the manager's room, the HR manager's, and he was aggressively talking. Sir, what are you? You are not respecting us such at all. You are not treating us as human beings or other things. This manager asked, he was just keeping cool. Then asked, what is the problem? Sir, what is that, sir? You are given such a pen, it is leaking out. See, the uniform itself has got affected. How can we? Are you not respecting us? All those things. This man didn't justify what happened. He didn't do anything. He didn't argue back. Just coolly, he heard everything, then asked, what do you want? We don't want this pen, sir. Okay, I'll immediately ask this pen to be replaced. That's all, problem was solved. So that is the focus on any issue. What is the outcome you want? That is a focus. This is another takeaway. Any practical problem you have, if you look at who's created the problem, what is the problem, that is one way of approaching. I wouldn't tell it is wrong. It is also that. Another approach is focus on the result you want. I'll give another example of that. Once in a quite long time back, I had a group of people at Ooty. I had a participants group of people. I had a manager from a bank, one of the participants. He told, I have a very serious problem, personal problem. I told, why don't you try this approach? I asked the question one after other. He internally thought about the answer. Then he told, at the end, I asked, how do you feel now? What do you think? And he told, now I am relieved. Now I am relieved. I know now what I have to do. After a few months, I had phoned him and asked, how much you have managed to do. I'm aware of the solution. To some extent, I'm able to do, but not fully because it's a personal and family issues. Why I'm telling is it gives another very, very powerful and practical approach on problem solving. Again, for profession and personal life also, it's very helpful. Then emotional strength. See, the emotionally strong strength is very, very, very relevant. I'll give an example why it is relevant. I had told that I had worked in Salem Productivity Council for 18 years. Then only 2007, I resigned and I started on my own. During our major meeting, general body meeting, we had somebody who was questioning very aggressively. At one stage, the question he asked, it even stopped the proceedings. We were unable to proceed further. Some elections are taking place, and that man also well-meaning man, not a really cantankerous or a negative person. He's a well-meaning man, but he used to question everything. He's thinking that questioning things will really help organizations. So the meeting was Almost it was standing still. Nobody know how to react. At the time, one of our office bearers, one industrialist, whom I consider as a great person, who had internalized, the various concepts, emotionally very strong, tremendous human being, very capable person. He was the secretary at that time. When the meeting was stand still, somebody could have erupted, office bearers, and took him to task. Why are you disturbing like that? Never he have been questioned. There's something. No, this man was very coolly. The person, we looked at the other person, his colleague was standing on the desk, and just a very cool man at all. Ravi, there is also something, some meaning in what he told. I think we should also consider. The temperature was, became very smooth after that. It had cooled. It had become very cool. It had become again warm. It has become very comfortable. The way to come out. Whereas in some other meeting, I found the dinner, some dish was lacking, and the head of the organization who had organized the function, more than 100, 120 people, he was shouting at the bearer, who was supposed to fill up who was serving. What is the point in shouting at him? That is the emotional strength, or lack of the strength, or lesser strength. So the emotional strength is very important in any organization. Quick new behavior generator, already we had talked about it. That's a powerful exercise. And submodalities working is very powerful. What I meant by submodalities is, the internal picture what you have in your mind. You close our eyes and imagine our college, our home, our friends. You form a picture in the mind. In that picture, you work. Increase the brightness, decrease the brightness, like that. You work that is called as, that area is the submodalities. You work in submodalities. That also emotionally strengthens. And submodalities, I think, in India, we'll consider as a great spiritual nation. And there is a saying, be a witness to everything. I think what is meant by, if you are a witness, you will not be affected emotionally much. I think one concept here is what is meant by that. That also I teach in the classroom. And throwing away unpleasant incidents is a real, real great tool. I had a HR manager who was one of the participants. Or no, he was a college placement officer. He was previously HR manager. After 1 year, I asked him, he attended my program, and I asked him after 1 year whether my concepts are useful to him. He told, whether other concepts are useful or not, I'll not comment. I do not know. But I came with a very, very serious personal problem at the time. I used the concept on that problem. I was greatly relieved at that time. Somebody has told me, some years afterwards, when I asked how was that concept, I thought, he told, Arvind, who can forget about that program? You are the only person who thought how to forget. Actually, it is not forgetting. It is a painful incident. The pain alone will go away. You can remember the incident with the learnings, but the pain part will go. That's such an exercise. And subordinate is using for decision making and becoming emotionally strong for particular issues will be the ultimate level an executive can work. And the theoretical concepts also help. Dear friends, these are the inputs for the profession. And dear friends, for personal life, what NLP can offer, I'll give a brief outlook overview. For new behaviors gaining, there is exercise called modeling. You want to become much more confident. You use this once, you become much more confident. Suppose you give a public speaking, single shot, your confidence level increases. I'll give an example, practical example. One of my friends, he really internalized this way. He used to feel so bored if he want to do the paperwork. But his auditor, he modeled his auditor. His auditor, even at 5 o'clock, he'll be so fresh, looking after paperwork. He modeled him, so he started to get the same feel. He also started to become comfortable with this paperwork. And dealing with the past painful incidents, I have already dealt. Dealing with the past painful incidents, health issues, emotional strength, understanding internal programming, changing habits, spirituality. These are some of these. I'll very quickly, in another few minutes, I'll just edit it. Personal life, emotional strength is already the 4 concepts you have seen. Modeling exercise also I just mentioned. My friend, modeled his auditor. Meta programs I have already mentioned. One program I mentioned, that is whether somebody is detailed or big picture person. Likewise, 10, 15 things are there. And dealing with the past painful incident, this is a real great boon for people. Phobia cure exercise, trauma cure exercise, belief changing exercise. These are all very, very specialized exercise, which I don't teach in classroom. But, they are done almost like a therapeutic level. Phobia cure exercise, once for all, even a phobia of so many years can go away. Phobia means unreasonable fear. I worked on a person who had an unreasonable fear for cats. Cat is very normal. A lot of people like cats. But that madam was an officer in a bank. She was so allergic to cat. Once the cat came to a bank and it came near her, she, in a panic, she got up on the chair and stood on the table. People thought it was a snake. So that was the panic the person had. I worked on that. From that day onwards, the panic went away. Of course, she didn't like and she didn't become friends with cat, but the panic part got over. Phobia cure exercise. Then trauma cure exercise is real powerful. People who have undergone emotional trauma, some big trauma, see, a huge issue, it may not bother people. Even simple issue could have bothered a person very, very severely. The deeply, submerged, painful incident can create ripples. It can modify even the behavior negatively. There is a exercise trauma cure. In a single shot, it can be cleared. I worked on a person who had undergone a huge loss, self-made man. His business partner took away 90% of the income, 90% of money and ran. This man lost hope. I taught him management concept, I taught him NLP. Then finally I worked on trauma cure. Then that man became again confident. He started working from whatever was available. So that is the trauma cure exercise. Belief change exercise, sometimes people will have a deep felt belief. Some people will feel they're very unlucky, something like that, deep, they may not even express, some are deeply. That also a major exercise. We can see that people get cleared of it. These are some very deep and powerful exercise. And changing any behaviors which are not comfortable, two exercises, visual scars and swish exercise. I worked on 3 or 4 people who had smoking habit. Of course, 2 or 3 people, whether result came or not, I do not even know. At least one person, no result. One person, I had very good result. Not only this, I worked on something else also, some other exercise also. That man was smoking for 30 years. And after the exercise also, he was smoking. But within a month, he automatically quit smoking. He didn't force himself. That was the power of the exercise. I worked on core transformation also. Every exercise I worked on him. That could be a reason. And dear friends, health issues, there is an exercise by name reframing exercise. My own master, he's now no more. Dr. Richard McHugh, who would have introduced NLP to India. He's a great person. He told his personal example. He had, at one period of time, he developed a lot of cough. And he was diagnosed as cancer in Chennai. He went back to US. There he was checked and he was told no cancer, nothing. So this man became angry. Then he thought, what I am doing? I am teaching people this exercise. I have not practiced this. So he started doing this reframing exercise. It is, somewhere we are communicating unconsciously within ourselves. It's almost like a prayer. And after some time, it went away. But dear friends, the beauty is that great master, he had been practicing it daily at least 4 times throughout life. Because he considers this to be almost the ultimate exercise, go to the deepest level within himself. And finally, spiritual level. So India is a great spiritual nation. Whatever religion people are there, spirituality is greatly admired. Of course, there may be frauds also posing as spiritual leaders, but genuine spiritual people have been always there. This reframing is such an exercise, and core transformations are another such exercise. It is almost going to what we call a self or anma, something like that. It goes very deep, almost to that level. Actually, this methodology was produced by, invented, or it was designed by one lady by name Cornelia Andreas. And she went into that state because of Milton Erickson. She didn't even understand how she went into it. But she knew that Milton Erickson was the person who was in a group discussion, somewhere, few days he was spending time with the people. Other time, something, she went with a huge problem. But that man had told, I cannot, I surrendered my psychology association license. I cannot talk one-to-one. And this lady lost hope that she was waiting some answers she'd get, she didn't get. On the final day, she left hope. Okay, let me focus on the program, on the discussion. Somewhere or other, suddenly she fell into the state, that code state, which I think, what we call as self or wisdom or alma, whatever it is. And she tells, you can go to the net also and read it. She tells, I knew this man, Milton Erickson, had something to do with my falling into that state. At that time, the problem didn't matter at all. Whatever decision I take, it didn't matter at all. She tells, not only this man had something to do with my falling into the state, he knew the exact moment I fell into the state. He just looked at me and told, now it doesn't matter, no. After some years, she designed this methodology to deal with the people, psychological problem people, who go to various therapies, exercises, nothing works out. Finally, she evolved this methodology. This is the deepest. And my master used to tell, ultimate aim of NLP is awareness. And once we asked, what is the exercise you like most? He told, number 1 is reframing, number 2 is reframing, number 3 is reframing. Then I asked, what about core transformation? When I do reframing, automatically core transformation also happens. So difference. These are the various exercises you can come across. You read some books. I'll suggest Anthony Robbins' book, Unlimited Power. His first book may be a very good book to read. But experientially becoming aware and experiencing things may be difficult, but you get a very good overview of NLP, Unlimited Power by Anthony Robbins. Okay. So difference. These are some of the things helping in personal life. Now to sum up, student life, subject knowledge, structure of thoughts, interviews, various communication aspects, domain knowledge also, structure of thoughts, people skills, 4-5 concepts I told, meta model, meta programs, non-verbal communication concept, outcome frame, breathing relationship, important rapport building, problem solving also, NLP gives powerful. New page generator, NLP gives a very good tool. Actually, this was even applied to the sharpshooters training in US. Anthony Robbins gave this training, sharpshooters in US Army. It was a special program designed for US Army people. This was given. Dealing with the past painful incidents can be tremendous, but you require a very, very competent person who practices NLP as a therapy. Just don't go for any person who claims to be. Check whether they'll be able to comfortably do, because it requires a lot of emotional effort from the person also. Health issues, reframing, and emotional strength, so many exercises are given. Internal programming, meta models, changing habit, fish and visual cost. And dear friends, finally, ultimate aim of NLP, as my master taught, awareness. So dear friends, with this, I'd like to thank for this great opportunity. My Facebook, Instagram recently opened, so you can hear afterwards. I may be able to reply to anything. Dear friends, I think I have given a fair amount of coverage on what is possible by NLP. See, such information is very important. Once you go into a profession, you'll be searching for information. Maybe it's a great opportunity for me to share with you. And I'll also consider it's a great opportunity for you. Your college has selected this topic with this focus also to give these insights to you. So whenever in life, at whatever stage you are, several of these issues cannot be easily dealt with normal training programs, normal therapies. NLP gives. Ultimately, this is the subject for achieving human excellence, because it was modeled on human excellence. So our own capability to improve tremendously our joy, satisfaction, our emotional well-being, our relationship at home. This is one of the excellent topics. Of course, I also suggest that you read the management concepts, particularly Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I think it's one of the greatest books to understand what is right, what is wrong, what to do, what not to do. And NLP also helps in so many ways. So, defense, it's a great opportunity. Maybe, sorry, I think I have taken a bit more time. I thank your college for this great opportunity. You are head of the department, ma'am, Deepa ma'am, Gayatri ma'am, and Punkurali ma'am for this hosting this nicely. Your head of the department, ma'am, especially for asking me to do this program. And the MMA, through MMA, I'm doing this program, Madras Management Association. Last 3-4 years, I've been doing a lot of programs for them. So I thank Management Association for this and Madras Management Association. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. And I'd like to request the students to ask, to interact with you if they have any doubts or anything.
Yeah, that will be fine, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sir, I personally, I have one I need one small clarification. You are telling about this meta program. So
Okay.
what are these meta programs about, sir?
Actually, it is a slightly large subject. It is internally we are programmed now. What I told about one of the programs we are programmed is one of the programs. It is called as programs. How we are basically, that I told about the person who generally tends to talk in a very detailed manner. Anything and everything he'll talk in detailed manner. That will be the habit for them. They'll be only comfortable in that way. Some people will be very comfortable in talking in shortest possible sentence. That is what they are very comfortable. And some people, certain percentage, are comfortable in switching from both. So likewise, we are programmed internally. So, for example, I am a very detailed person. So anything I have to talk, I talk in a very detailed manner. Maybe it also helps in my profession. I have seen people who are very, very brief in their discussions. I used to, for example, I used to visit organizations in February, March, where I regularly do programs to just inquire them and get in touch with them. From next year, any program, just call me, just interaction. So all the way from spending about 4-5 hours, I traveled from all the way from Salem to Virda. Chalapona, the cement industries, I went. I told the HR manager, sir, I am coming and meeting you. He told, why our phone it is adequate? No, sir, I normally visit. I am coming to NLC also, Naval Eliminate Corporation also, I'll meet you also. He told, yes. After I gone there, he told, Arvind, you are preparing the program. I have asked my people to include one program for you. Maybe 4-5 batches will come for you. That's all. Entire conversation was over within 20 to 30 seconds. He was a big picture man. Whereas you can understand by way I am talking. I am a very, very detailed person. Likewise, internally, we are programmed in so many ways. For example, some people are motivated towards achieving something. Their focus is do that, do that, do this, do this. For them, you tell you do this, you get this result, and they'll be highly motivated. Some people will be, the motivation will be away from. You tell you are achieving this because of this, it will not be motivation for them. If you don't do this, you will have such a big problem. It will be a big motivation. So that is another internal programming. So likewise, there are different type of programs. Some people, for example, they follow the same routine again and again. 10 years, 15 years, they almost the same routine. They'll not want to make any changes. Whereas somebody else, you see, they'll make huge differences. My own friend, for me, I am more of a routine person. Single, hardly, only 2 changes. 18 years, one organization, now on my own. Whereas my own friend, he was in a job for only 1.5 years. Then he started on industry, small scale industries, started something with his own friends. So 10, 12, 13 things he started one after other. Not simultaneously also. He didn't lose too much and close. Or sometime he'll be running at some stage, he'll start something else and do. So he was a person who was in a very, very different. He had run a hotel, roof garden hotel. He had run a cable TV. He had a small scale industry. Now, leaving all those things, he has come to a IT consulting, and he joined the company as his own friend's company as vice president quality in IT firm. Then he became on his own doing IT consultancy and trainings. See, this guy is a completely different person. Any new things, he'll be very comfortable. Likewise, internally we are programmed in so many ways. We understand that, we start using it in our own decision taking process. Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir. Any other questions, Gayatri? Gayatri?
No, ma'am. There is no questions from participant sides. And shall we request Pungurali to present the vote of thanks?
Yes, yes, yes.
Pungurali, please go on, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Vote of thanks. Gratitude is not only the greatest of ritual, but the parent of all other members. I take this opportunity to record our gratitude to Mr. V. Aravind Krishna, who has a great expertise in the field of NLP, for sharing us the good insight about the role of NLP in career success. We fail in our duty if we don't thank Group Captain Dr. R. Venkatraman, GM, Madras Management Association, for his support active role in the development of the student committee. We thank our management, dean and principal to extend us with this opportunity. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
a
much,
lot.
sir. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
with us. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a great opportunity. I enjoyed it.
You. Thank you, sir.
Thank
And
you.
my special thanks to your son for his technical support. And he made
Thank you.
good
Thank you.
session, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you, sir.
honest speaker, fine. Thank. Yeah.
So we will wind up and I end the broadcasting, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.